Hi, I'm Mike from Comprehensive Grants Management. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about pulling your grant applications back in grants.gov and resubmitting. Right now we are working on our 2024 Youth Build grant applications, and we are looking at a deadline that's just over a week away, so we're getting ready for some grant submissions right now. One of the important elements that grants.gov offers in the platform is the ability to pull a grant application back once it's been submitted. So as you're getting ready for a grant submission, whether it's the 2024 Youth Build or any grant really that's being submitted through the grants.gov platform, you may have an urge to try and submit this grant early, which is great. It's always ideal to get this submitted ahead of time just to make sure that your grant is fully processed by the platform in advance of the deadline that you're dealing with. However, in the process of submitting early, if your grant application receives some additional information that you had wanted to include, such as a late partner letter or an MOU that you didn't think was going to be able to come back in time, but it does, or perhaps you're doing some quality control and you notice there's some information that needs to get updated, you do have the ability to pull that grant application back and fix it prior to the deadline. So what you will need to do is you'll need to log into grants.gov using your login.gov credentials, and you can simply pull that application back. You'll find the workspace for that application and then recall that application. Make the updates that you need to do, whether that's adding the letter or fixing your information that you discovered in your quality control process. Some things to consider when you do this. Number one, you still will need to resubmit that application. So once you make your updates or your corrections, you still need to go through the full process of signing and submitting a second time. Once you recall that application, it is fully recalled. The funding agency will not be able to retrieve that original version. So if you do not re-sign and resubmit, that original version won't get reviewed and your new version won't get reviewed. So if you pull it back, please remember to go through the full process to sign and submit a second time. And keeping that in mind that you do need to sign and submit it a second time, you are still bound to the original deadlines that were associated with that grant. So even if your first sign and submission was before the deadline, if your second sign and resubmission is after the deadline, you have now missed the deadline. You don't get any adjustments to the deadline in this process. So if you need to make corrections, please do not worry. You do have the options. You do have the tools to make an update to your application after it's been submitted, but you need to fully resubmit it and make sure that you do fully resubmit it prior to the original deadline that you are working with. So, keeping this in mind, please do submit early, but please note that if you do submit early and you do have changes, last minute changes, you do have the tools to make them.